Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great week. This has been my best week this year in the small account, and I am seeing the benefits of just focusing on this account and trading out of it, working it every month, just like I did, back in 2015 and 2016, just working this account and making money. Yeah, I'm still going to look at swing trading when the market opens up again. It just kind of traded sideways this week. No real opportunities for me. I will trade out of speed trader and, when the opportunity persists, but I'm not going to try to do two and three things at one time like I was before. But yeah, I was making some money, but then when the market gets a little bit tougher, it kind of messes you up and you kind of lose your focus here. So we're going to look at my day today. We had a decent day. I left a whole lot of money on the table today, and it all started with my expectations of today. I have very low expectations, and I traded that way. So that kind of limited the amount of money that I could make. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I shared this quote with everybody on social media yesterday. Now I was listening to Tim Tebow talk to the media a day or so ago, and he stated this quote, and I felt this was a very powerful quote. And if you think about it, it really relates to what we're doing here in trading. But he said, don't let other people define you. You will always have critics and naysayers that'll tell you that you won't be able to do it, that you can't do it, or that you shouldn't do it. But most of these people are the ones that didn't do it, that wouldn't do it, or that couldn't do it. So they're trying to define you based on their limitations. And don't do that. Go after your dreams. Because they're yours, they're not theirs. And just because they couldn't achieve theirs doesn't mean you can't achieve yours. And I can't even count how many people told me over the years, you can't grow a $1,500 account in SureTrader. But I did it right here in chat in front of you guys' eyes 5 or 6 times. Hell, last summer I started with $1,000. It almost broke my back. You guys saw that. But we employed the skills, the same skills that I teach you guys. It's what I employ in chat every day. And you saw me do it. We managed our risk. We traded with smaller position sizes. And we were able to build that discipline, to learn how to deal with the market conditions that we faced this summer. I had never faced those conditions in the summer. And there were a lot of traders, a lot of professional traders who have never experienced these conditions. But this was the first time they learned from it. The guys that had, their risk management in place, they made it through. And that's what it's all about. So, if I had let these guys tell me I couldn't do it, or tell me that, there's no way you can do that, I wouldn't be right here talking to you right now. So it's possible. And in any account, I use SureTrader because that's all they had at that time. And, but there are other brokers out there that cater to smaller accounts. You just have to trade the same way. And I'm sharing, I made a video sharing, exactly what you had to think about, how you had to trade in it. I'm sharing everything that I've done to get here in my Roadmap to Success series that I've invited you guys to come into. So, I'm showing you every day that it can be done. So don't let anybody else tell you it can't. I don't care how much money people claim they make every day and that you don't have to do this and you don't have to do that. I know for a fact because I did it, I'm living it, and you're seeing it happen live every day in front of your face. I'm not asking you to believe anything that you don't see happen live in real time. I will never ask you to believe that because I don't believe it. You could tell me you made $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a day. You could show me a P&L, don't mean shit. Unless you can show me your entries and exits on your trade log, what time you got in, how many shares, all of that stuff. If I don't see it, I don't believe it. I don't care who you are. Doesn't matter. If I don't give that to you and you don't see it happen, live in chat and you don't see the evidence, I'll never ask you to believe it. That's just the way I am. So don't let anybody else, put you down, try to fool you, try to define you based on what they believe. You go after your own dreams and you do what you do, and you're going to make it. All right, so I about to get wound up. Let me take a breath. All right, so let's take a look at what we did today. Sometimes some things just really get me wound up. So ROKU, here's what happened to me today on this. And, I started out today, I had a massive sinus headache. And, one of the things that I tell you guys, if you don't feel good, if things just aren't right, don't trade. But I didn't take my medicine because I knew even with a headache, as long as I don't take my medicine, I'm going to be coherent enough to be able to trade. But here I had that nervous double tap. So you see, I wasn't trying to get in 600 shares. I was trying to get in 300, but I double clicked the mouse and you can see I got in with 600 shares. And, obviously when you get in with too large a size and you're in a stock like ROKU that can make some wicked moves, that can get really volatile. And I've traded ROKU when it was volatile and it, has hurt me in the past. I was a little bit scared. So I took some off. As soon as we broke through 58, I took half of it off. Because I just was not comfortable. But the mistake I made was instead of resetting in my mind saying, okay, look, I got the 300 shares that I initially wanted. Okay, don't worry about the profit that you booked. Don't worry about that. All you did was get back to where you need to be. It was just a fortunate incident that you got to profit. So let's reset. And this is the entry. Your stop should be a loss of the 5-minute opening range low, which is, below this level. But everything happened so fast, it was just instinct that when it came back to break even, I took it off. And I didn't even look to get back in. I was just kind of shook. So I moved on to the next trade. So that's what happened on ROKU. I did make some money off of this, but I kind of messed up and missed this huge run up that I would have been in for. I would have taken profit here as well, and I'd have had another piece on, looking to see where we're going to go, and probably would have used the 9 as my guide here, which is what I normally like to do. So I can't guess where I would have. Maybe I would have taken the rest off up here around 61, but it would have been a hell of a lot better than what I did here. But I can't blame anybody but myself on that. It was just an unfortunate thing for me. So the next trade, I almost immediately started working through my progression. Like a quarterback. He has several receivers that he can look at, and he'll just go through his first target. If it's covered up, go to the second target, it's covered up. So I kind of go through the stocks like that. So this one, ROKU kind of threw me out. And so this one was breaking out right when I flipped to it. And, here's the 5-minute opening range high right here, which we could have actually got it here. If I was watching this, I probably would have got in here because of the length of the wick. But either way, this is the 5-minute opening range high. I got in, took profit up here. So I got in at 147.34. I took profit at about a point. And then I waited. I was looking at 149 to grab some more. But what happened was I ended up adding. Instead of taking profit, I added. Or what I was doing was I was setting my target, my next target, and I accidentally, not my next target, my stop. I was accidentally putting my stop in, and I accidentally added it because I did a buy stop versus a sell stop. I'm used to shorting. So I accidentally added 100 shares, but it just put me back to my original position, which was fine. I didn't have any problem with that. And my next target was 149.75. And then my next target was going to be 150.50. I had no idea we were going to catch it that quick. But we did. 150.50. And then I was going to leave it on just to see how far we could go. And it ended up, coming back and taking me out. Here we were consolidating. And on this one, I was actually waiting for the pullback because I was going to get back in this. But it never did pull back, and it just kind of traded sideways here. I didn't want to get in here, even though this would have been a really nice trade. I was looking for a more defined pullback. So I just kind of missed out on the rest of this. But still a decent profit. No complaints about it. Just had that extra cover. And again, this was just a product of me not expecting the market to be as strong as it was, here at the open. This market was super up until lunch. And then we had some good short trades. I think what was that stock? I can't remember right now. TTD had a nice short trade, later on. Matter of fact, let's go to that one now. So after here, after one, this was a great short. This pulled in, gave you a great short opportunity here. So I was, I wasn't locked in. I pretty much shut it down after the morning. And called it a day. But here on this one, this was another stock that was on our watch list. All three of these stocks were on our watch list, and all three were awesome trades. I just didn't maximize it. I should have made $1,800 to $2,000 a day. Should have made 3 times what I made, but I just, I was just a little off. There's nothing else I can say about it. But on this TTD, excellent opening range breakout. I waited. Here's the one that gave me the secondary move off of the 9. Grabbed it. And here, not thinking that this thing was going to continue to run up as good as it did, I took profit too quick. And this was according to plan. Because you see, I got in at 191.90, around 192. I took profit at 193, 1 point, 194. And so I just put these on. This is when I went to lunch. I was like, well, damn, I'll just set it at 197. Set my stop back at 192 and just let this run during lunch. Let's see how far we can go. And this thing actually ran up and hit my 197. but it actually went through 198 eventually. So, I did leave a little bit on the table here, but I got the meat of this move that I wanted. Again, you can't trade every stock on your watch list for the opening range. You kind of have to pick one, take that trade, and then you keep your eye open for secondary moves. Ideally, I would like to trade the same stock all day, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. But I stuck to the stocks on my watch list. They gave us good opportunities all day, and that's what we look for. So I'm very happy with the day and with the opportunities the day presented for us. I'm not happy with the way I traded everything. But you can look at this, and this is a testament to you guys. I'm only trading 100 shares. The testament to you guys trading smaller size. I only traded this 100 shares. TTD. $234. And I only traded 100 shares. It doesn't take much to make money here. Now I know, you guys live in New York or somewhere like that where the cost of living is ridiculous. You can't make it. You probably can't live the way you want to, making $500-$600 a day or, $3,000, $4,000 a week. You're going to have to double that. So you're going to have to be more aggressive. But me, living right here in South Carolina, this was an amazing income for me alongside of my full-time job. And being able to do this every month, for like 2 years while I'm still drawing my full-time paycheck, that put me in a position to where I can trade without having to worry about making any money. Because I know I've got money in the bank. So if the market's slow, don't have to worry about it. I got it covered. So, I just wanted to point that out, that, it only took 100 shares of this to make, $230. Here with W, I traded 200 shares with W. So it doesn't take a whole lot of shares to make a lot of money. That's why you'll never see me chasing a $2 or $3 stock with 5,000 or 6,000 shares trying to get 20 cents. You'll never see me do that. All right. So let's take a look at where we ended up this week. We had one red day on Tuesday, but Wednesday, awesome day. We had a big earnings trade on Wednesday. On Thursday, yesterday, we had a decent earnings trade as well. On Friday, you don't have earnings trades. You don't really have companies reporting after the market closes on Friday because most people are gone. You're not going to have any volatility or volume. Nothing, no conditions that you can trade in. So, none of that today, but still a solid day, 604.80. I wish I would have been able to maximize the potential that the market gave us today, but hey, it is what it is. We come back next week and we're ready to go. So this week, biggest week of this year for me in this account, 3067.59. And remember, I wired out Thursday. I had to wire out yesterday morning to try to keep between the $10,000 threshold. I almost blew it out the water on Wednesday. If I didn't have a losing day here, this would have kicked me over that 10 grand threshold. But, I was like $30 away from it. So I already wired out some. I left like 6,000 in. And after yesterday, we were back up to 7. And back up to right now around 7,700. I got to look. I haven't really looked at it. I'll know the balance, after everything settles tonight. but I'm thinking around $7,700 already. And we got 4 days to go next week. So I may be wiring out a little bit earlier than normal. But I will start back March with $5,000. The goal is to start every month with $5,000 and just work it from there. If I have to wire out early, then hey, that's great. That's even better. So for the month, we've gained 65, 24, 23. And that's going into, right back into trading. I mean, this has been great. A solid month in this account. So we want to keep pushing. And the beautiful thing is, you guys that are in chat every day, you get to see every trade I take. You get to see it. If you're there all day, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're gone. But there are other people in there. Everybody gets to see every trade I take in there. If I don't take it in the room, it didn't happen. It's just that simple. So CNX, this is our Grow Your Dough Challenge trade that we're in. It looks like I just have a knack for picking these slow movers. So we're up to 3.7% this week. I almost took it off today. I promise you. I almost took it off. If the moving averages are coming in hard, and it probably, $12 was my target. I didn't even print the chart today because it's just not even worth looking at. So we'll take a look at it harder on Sunday. I'll bring up the chart. We'll look at some things. But, right now we're at 3.7%. It's just it's growing very, very slow. I'm not really happy with that at all. I said next quarter I'm going to do some different strategies to see if we can kick it up a notch. But, right now I'm just not happy with this. I'm going to continue to do this for all of first quarter, and then I'm going to switch up the strategy here a little bit. All right, guys, that's it for me. That's all I got for now. That's all I got for this week. You guys have a safe weekend. For those of you who are coming in Sunday, I'll see you guys Sunday morning. If not, we'll be back at it bright and early on Monday morning.